All right, welcome back to another episode of Mr. King KMK, also of Nick's Morning Coffee. Now, today we're going to recap last night's game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Good bounce back win. Some things, though, are still a little bit of concern, but that was a better overall effort from our guys. Starting with the Philadelphia Sixers, they got Joel Embiid. He's back playing. He did all right. He didn't have a monster Joel Embiid game, but that's to be expected coming back from injury. Now, as far as Towns against Embiid, Towns held his own in the first half, dominating Embiid on the offensive end. Second half, Towns got to a little bit more of a slower start, but I think that was also the way we started attacking them differently coming out of halftime. But, they had some guys like this kid, I think he's out of Duke, McCain. He just lit us up off the bench for them. We had no answer for him. The beauty of that, though, is that we have defenders now that when guys like that can get off, we got somebody that can at least, contain them if you can't stop them, but also can come down on the other end and still get buckets. So it kind of balances out. Cat's monster game, I got to say, for the first time in a long time, and I mean the first time in a long time, we're actually playing 5-on-5. We've had Mitch and Nerlens Noel and people like that for so long that we was playing 5-on-4, especially when we wasn't using our bigs in the pick and roll. So we was at a disadvantage that way. But now, for the first time in a long time, we able to match up, 5-on-5. Whatever you got, we got. So if we lose, we're gonna lose because that night y'all were better than us, not because we didn't have enough. And that's saying something for the New York Knicks. Brunson had a slow start to the game. Still played well, but in terms of points, he getting his points here and there. He found a way in the end, but, he wasn't really like, same thing, typical Brunson. He'll find his way. I mean, he's setting the table, which is all you can really ask for from a point guard. But as far as all-star status, that time will come when him and Cat and them guys figure it out, how we going to attack teams for 48 minutes. But, again, it wasn't a bad game, but it just still not typical Brunson game yet. And he did get hurt a little bit to start the first play of the third quarter. He stepped on somebody's foot, turned the ankle, came back in fourth quarter and came alive for us, which also helped seal that win. So kudos to Brunson for that. The story of the night, though, is OG Anunoby. Again, in the Indiana loss, he played big for us. Last night, 6-7 dunks, threes, driving to the basket, pull-ups, posting, and his defense is always stellar. So he did it all last night. And if he had to give away a game ball, it would have been him. And even Tibbs, I think he might have heard some of the cries. Can't really say that about Tibbs, but he played 9 men last night. Even our boy Ryan got a couple minutes in there. But our rotation guys played heavy minutes. But at least he was able to spell them a little bit, as opposed to the other night. We didn't have nothing going down the stretch because he just kept them out there, pretty much for the whole game. We had all 5 starters was in double figures, also including Deuce off the bench. That's going to be, a frequent thing for us a lot, is that even if it's not high number of double figures, it's double figures. Double figures mean everybody's touching the ball and everybody's getting involved. So, I like where we headed. I know it's a slow process. It's just going to be different. You look at, I think it was yesterday, day before, the Hawks, handed Boston a crazy loss, without Trae Young, and they had a lot of assists. So that just goes to show that the preseason top 4, Boston, us, Milwaukee, and Philly, teams are not going to lay down, especially the next 4 of, let's say, Miami, Indiana, Cleveland, and Orlando. They're not going to lay down and wait, So any given night, somebody can come in and beat you. Now, last night was also the first night of our in-season tournament game. And, those, it go by wins, but it also go by points and margin of victory. And that's kind of how we got in last year into the play-in round. But, we'll deal with that when the time comes. I'm not really worrying about that right now, but I just want to see us play well. And the second half, it almost gave like a playoff atmosphere. Even though they were not at 100%, Paul George put up some big numbers for them. They were without Maxey, but Kelly Oubre, like they have guys. Andre Drummond. They're not a team that's totally depleted. Now it's going to take them also time to gel, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the season of playing Philly, because I think that's really, Boston is the champions, and you're the champions till somebody knock you off. But I think Philly is going to be our nemesis going down the stretch of the season. Just because of a healthy Embiid and with a lot of the things they put around them this summer, they're a better team. And later on down the road, it's going to show. And I like that, though. We want to be there in the end, but we want to be there knowing that we went through some high-power teams. And that's the kind of team we got. We're a high-power team. Some of our other guys, Mikal Bridges, he played good. He didn't bust out, but it was a good performance from him. A good, steady, defensive performance. Knocking down, the midi, driving, posting, spinning, hitting the shot. And I also like, there was a point he was setting his man up in the second half, and Brunson was wide open, but he knew he had his man, so he just backed him down, gave him a little shimmy, and then shot the fade on him and knocked it down. So it's just good to see that guys like him are starting to get comfortable. Now, a thing that did concern me a little bit is that when we did brought Ryan in, and I look at the way they used McCain last night, that Matt Ryan is a shooter. And even though he's not a household name, everybody on that floor knows Matt Ryan can shoot the basketball. So I don't understand, too, like with us, to help get easy buckets when we bring him in. Let's go his way. Okay, we don't have to feature him, but, let's put him on the side of the ball so that the guy with the ball, if he needs an outlet, what better person to knock down a wide open three than a guy like that? Now, there's no shade on us for not doing that, but why not take advantage of all of our weapons? Even when some of our top guys are on the court, he was out there with them, and that gives them rest while they're on the court. So, just some few things from last night's game. Great win, applause all the way around. Applause to Tibbs, dipping into that bench. Still maybe a little bit more, but, even Jericho Sims, he was out there, nice block. He did some things, too, to show that he's coming along and holding it down until our bigs come back. And then even when they come back, maybe he can get some spot minutes just to keep him fresh, for the end of the season. So, I'm happy with the way the game went. Philly scored 99, so we kept them under 100 points. That's not going to be easy as time goes on. But, again, clap it up for the New York Knicks. We did it again. And we're showing that even though we're not fully cohesive yet in terms of our play, guys are buying in, but it's just a matter, it just takes time. But that we can still pull out a win here and there, a bounce back from a loss. Again, the key last year was stay away from multiple 3-game losing streaks, and we did that. And the keys this year, I'm not going to put an onus on everything yet, because we got to see how we gel and how we unfold. But come December, I'm going to have a way better assessment of this team myself. I know what I want it to be, and I know what I've seen so far, but we got to be realistic, too. We all Knicks fans. We love our guys, but we ain't going to do that to them right now. At least I ain't, Now, mind you, I want every win. Don't get me wrong. But I understand the big process, and this is still a process. And to hear Tibbs say, last night at halftime that we are a work in process, that means, he knows. He knows what he got, and he knows where he's going to be. All right? So let's go Knicks. Like, comment, subscribe.